John Mercer stood at the edge of the research facility's roof watching the sunset. The orange glow felt peaceful after a long day of security inspections. 20 years as a Marine had taught him to enjoy quiet moments when they came. His radio crackled. "John, you need to see this." He turned toward Allison Wright's voice, spotting the lead scientist pointing at the sky. Strange lights cut through the clouds, too fast for planes, too controlled for meteors. "What the hell?" John muttered. The lights stopped suddenly, hovering. Then they dropped, accelerating toward Earth. "Get inside," John said, grabbing Allison's arm. "Now!" The first explosion hit before they reached the door. The blast threw them forward as the building shook. Alarms blared. John pulled himself up, ears ringing. "What's happening?" Allison asked, blood trickling from a cut on her forehead. "We're under attack." John helped her up. "We need to get to the secure level." They ran down the stairs as more explosions rocked the building. Emergency lights flashed red. Through a window, John saw strange ships, sleek, dark objects moving with impossible speed. "Those aren't ours," he said. Allison stopped. "The prototype, I can't leave it." "Forget your research, we need to—" "You don't understand. It might be our only chance against them." Another explosion, closer this time. The ceiling cracked. 2 minutes, John said. "Then we're gone." They raced to Allison's lab. She typed frantically on her computer, downloading files while John grabbed a small metal device from a locked case. "Is this it?" he asked. "Yes, the EMP variant. Don't drop it." The building shook again. Concrete dust filled the air. "Time's up," John said. They ran toward the underground garage. Bodies lay in the hallway. Security guards caught in the first attack. John grabbed a rifle from one of them. "Stay close," he told Allison. Outside, the world had changed. The sky burned with strange aircraft. Military jets tried to intercept them, but exploded mid-air like toys against tanks. John found a jeep with keys still in it. "Get in." They sped away as the research facility collapsed behind them. On the highway, people ran from their cars. Panic everywhere. "They're hitting specific targets," Allison said, checking her phone. "Military bases, power plants, government buildings. It's coordinated." "Who are they?" John asked. "Not who. What? Those ships aren't from Earth." John gripped the wheel tighter. "You're saying aliens?" "Yes." His military training kicked in. "We need to reach the nearest base. Fort Carson is 40 miles south." "No," Allison said. "Look." The horizon glowed orange. News alerts flooded her phone. "Fort Carson is gone. So is Peterson Air Force Base and Cheyenne Mountain." John felt cold fear in his stomach. "That's impossible. Cheyenne is built to survive nuclear war." "These attacks are worldwide. Washington, Moscow, Beijing, all hit simultaneously." They drove in silence, passing burning cars and frightened people. "I know somewhere we can go," John finally said. "An old bunker, off-grid, built during the Cold War." 3 hours later, they arrived at a hidden entrance in the mountains. John entered a code and heavy doors opened. Inside, they found chaos. Military personnel worked frantically at computers. A general looked up as they entered. "Mercer, how the hell did you find this place?" "Doesn't matter. What's happening, sir?" The general's face was grim. "We've lost 70% of our defense capabilities worldwide. The president is dead, most of the cabinet too." Allison stepped forward. "I have something that might help. Experimental weapons tech." "Too late for that," the general said. "But we intercepted some of their communications." He pointed to a screen showing strange symbols. "We don't understand their language, but we know one thing for sure. They're looking for something specific, something on Earth. And whatever it is, they believe humans have it." 6 weeks after the first attack, John crouched behind a burned-out car, watching the alien patrol through his binoculars. The Vraxians moved with strange, fluid steps, their armor gleaming in the morning light. "3 guards," he whispered to his team. "Standard pattern." Beside him, Allison checked her modified rifle. The weapon looked normal but fired rounds she had designed to penetrate alien shields. "Remember," John said to the 4 Special Forces soldiers with them, "we need one alive." Ryan, a former Navy SEAL, nodded. "The stun grenades worked last time. For about 30 seconds. That's all we need." John gave the signal. They moved through the ruins of what had once been downtown Denver. The aliens had set up a mining operation here, digging deep into the ground. The first guard fell silently, hit by Ryan's silenced shot in the joint of its armor. The second turned, making that high-pitched clicking sound they used to communicate. Before it could activate its shield, Allison fired. The alien dropped. The third raised its weapon. John threw the stun grenade. A flash of blue light erupted and the alien fell, twitching. "Move," John ordered. They secured the alien, binding it with special restraints Allison had designed. Its skin was pale blue, with strange patterns that seemed to shift under the surface. "The facility is just ahead," Allison said, checking her scanner. "They're extracting something from deep underground." They moved carefully toward a massive pit. Alien machines drilled into the earth, pulling up glowing blue crystals. "That's it," Allison whispered. "The element they're after. It doesn't match anything on our periodic table." John took photos with a special camera. "Why this element?" "I don't know, but they're shipping it to orbit. They're building something up there." A sudden explosion rocked the ground. Not their target. Somewhere else in the city. "That's our distraction," John said. "The second team hit their communication center. Let's move to the processing facility." They ran toward a low building where aliens worked on the blue crystals. Inside, they found strange machines pulsing with energy. "Cover me," Allison said, connecting her tablet to one of the devices. John watched the doors while she worked. The captured alien began to wake up, making soft clicking sounds. "Hurry," he urged. "Got it," Allison said finally. "These crystals power their ships, weapons, everything, and my God, John, my weapon design might actually work against them. The frequency disrupts their shield technology." Ryan called from the window. "We've got company. Lots of it." John looked outside. Dozens of aliens converged on the building. "Time to go. Bring our guest." They escaped through a back tunnel, the alien patrol close behind. Laser fire hit the walls around them. Ryan took a shot in the leg but kept moving. They reached their hidden truck just as the aliens broke through. John fired, buying time for the others to load up. The engine roared to life. "Go," he shouted, jumping in as they sped away. Miles later, in their hidden base inside an abandoned mine, John gathered the resistance leaders. 20 men and women from different military branches, all that remained of their cell. "The aliens are building something in orbit," he told them. "We need to contact the other resistance groups." "I can modify my prototype," Allison said. "Create weapons that can hurt them, but I need more equipment." Steve, John's second in command, stepped forward. "I know where we can find what you need. An old military depot near Colorado Springs, still untouched." They planned through the night. At dawn, John found Steve making a call on a strange device. "What is that?" John asked. Steve turned, his face cold. "I'm sorry, John. They have my family." The door burst open. Aliens poured in, weapons raised. "They promised to spare those who cooperate," Steve said. "It's the only way any humans survive this." John reached for his gun but stopped when an alien pressed a weapon against Allison's head. "You're wrong," John said to Steve. "This isn't survival. It's surrender." John woke to the taste of blood. His cell was small and dark, with strange symbols glowing on the walls. 3 days in alien captivity had taught him their patterns. The guards would come soon. A noise outside. Not the usual heavy steps of Rexian guards. Something lighter, faster. The door slid open. A man in stolen alien armor stood there, helmet visor up to show a human face. "Can you walk?" the man asked. John stood, ignoring the pain in his ribs. "Who are you?" "Kyle Reeves, former Army Ranger. We need to move now." Kyle handed John a weapon, a modified human pistol with alien tech attached. "The others?" John asked. "Already out. Your scientist friend is waiting with my team." They moved through dim corridors. Kyle seemed to know exactly when to hide as alien patrols passed. "How do you know their patterns so well?" John asked. "Been studying them for months. Found a way to tap into their communication system." An alarm blared. Lights flashed red. "Run," Kyle ordered. They sprinted down the corridor. An alien appeared ahead. John fired without hesitation. The modified bullets pierced its shield, and it fell. They reached a loading bay where a small transport ship waited. Allison ran to John as he boarded. "Thank God," she said, hugging him. Ryan and 2 other survivors from their team were there, along with Kyle's people. The ship lifted off as aliens poured into the bay. Laser fire hit their shields. "We'll hold for 30 seconds, Kyle said, piloting with practiced ease. "Then we're clear." They escaped into the night sky. Below, the alien facility glowed blue against the darkened city. "Where are we going?" John asked. "Safe house. Underground bunker in the mountains." Hours later, in the safety of the bunker, Kyle explained what he'd learned. "The Vraxians are dying," he said, showing them intercepted data on a screen. "Their homeworld is running out of the element they're mining here. Without it, their technology fails, their life support fails." "So they're desperate," John said. "Yes, and getting more desperate by the day." Allison studied the data. "I can finish my prototype with this information. Create a weapon that disrupts their entire power system." "What's the catch?" John asked, knowing her too well. "It has to be deployed inside their main power distribution node. On the mothership." "Suicide mission," Ryan said. "Maybe not," Kyle replied. "We captured a shuttle. With the right codes, we could get aboard." John stood up. "First, we need to rebuild our forces. How many resistance cells are still active?" 12 that we know of, across 3 continents." "Contact them all. Tell them we're forming Earth War Warriors, EWW. Time to take the fight to them." Over the next week, they planned. Allison worked day and night on her weapon. John trained teams with the new anti-Vraxian tactics. The day before the mission, John found Allison alone in her lab. "Will it work?" he asked. She looked up, exhausted. "Yes. But John, there's something I haven't told the others. The weapon creates a cascade failure in their systems. Whoever deploys it won't have time to escape." "I'll do it." "No, I designed it. It should be me." "We'll find another way," John said. The bunker alarm sounded. Kyle rushed in. "You need to see this," he said, leading them to the command center. On the screens, satellite images showed strange devices being deployed around the planet. "They're in the atmosphere," Kyle explained, "changing the composition of our air." "Terraforming," Allison whispered, "making Earth like their world." John studied the data. "How long?" "At this rate, 30 days before Earth's atmosphere becomes toxic to humans, but perfect for them." John looked at his team, at the faces of the last hope for humanity. "Then we go tomorrow. No more waiting. We take that mothership or there won't be a human race left to save." The stolen alien shuttle shook as it approached the massive Vraxian mothership. John checked his weapon one last time. Around him, 5 soldiers did the same. Ryan, Kyle, and 3 others from the Resistance. 2 minutes, Allison said from the pilot seat. She had insisted on coming carrying the prototype weapon in a metal case. Through the viewport, the mothership grew larger. It was enormous, like a floating city in space. "Remember," John said to his team, "our goal is the central power core. We plant the device and get out. Earth forces will begin their attack in exactly 30 minutes to draw attention away from us." Kyle tapped his wrist device. "Sending the access codes now." The shuttle's communication system crackled. Alien language filled the cabin, then stopped. "We're cleared to land," Kyle said, surprised. The codes worked. They docked in a massive bay filled with similar shuttles. No guards met them. "Too easy," Ryan muttered. "Stay sharp," John ordered. They moved through the ship, following Kyle's memorized map. The corridors were tall and wide, built for the larger Vraxians. Strange lights pulsed along the walls. Life signs ahead, Kyle whispered, checking his scanner. They ducked into a side passage as a patrol passed. The aliens didn't notice them. The central core is 3 levels down, Kyle said. They found a lift and descended. When the doors opened, they faced a nightmare. A vast chamber stretched before them filled with transparent tubes. Inside each tube floated a human body, connected to machines. My God, Allison gasped. John moved closer to one tube. The person inside was alive, eyes open but unseeing. They're experimenting on them, Kyle said, checking a nearby console. Thousands of them. John stopped suddenly at one tube. The face inside was familiar. Eric, he whispered. You know him? Ryan asked. My brother. Missing for 3 years. I thought he was dead. John placed his hand on the tube. His brother didn't react. Can we free them? He asked Allison. She studied the systems. Not without killing them. The machines are keeping them alive. We'll come back for them, John promised. First, we complete the mission. They continued deeper into the ship. Alarms suddenly blared. They've spotted us, Kyle said. Run, John ordered. They sprinted down corridors as alien troops converged. Ryan took a hit and fell. John grabbed him, dragging him forward. The core is just ahead, Kyle shouted. They burst into a massive chamber. In the center, a column of blue energy pulsed from floor to ceiling. That's it, Allison said. The main power distribution node. She opened her case, revealing the device. It looked simple, a metal cylinder with blinking lights. How long to set it up? John asked. 3 minutes. Do it. We'll hold them off. Alien troops poured through the doorway. John and the others took positions, firing at the attackers. Earth forces are engaging, Kyle called, checking his communicator. The diversion is working. A massive Vraxian entered the chamber. Unlike the others, it wore no helmet. Its face was pale blue with strange markings. It carried no weapon. The commander, Kyle said. The alien spoke, its voice translated by a device on its armor. You cannot stop what has begun, it said. Your world is already changing. Why? John demanded. Why Earth? We searched 1,000 worlds. Only yours has what we need to survive. So, you'll kill us all? As you would do to us, if our positions were reversed. Survival is the only law of the universe. John fired. The commander's shield blocked the shot. It moved with shocking speed, knocking John's weapon away. They fought hand to hand. The alien was stronger, but John was quicker. He landed blows where the armor was weakest. Ready, Allison called. The commander threw John across the room. He hit the wall hard. The device is set, Allison said. But someone needs to stay and manually trigger it when it reaches full power. The ship's systems are fighting it. The commander moved toward her. John tackled it from behind. Go, he shouted to the others. All of you, get to the shuttle. John, no, Allison cried. That's an order. This ship is about to become a very big firework. Someone has to make sure it happens. Kyle grabbed Allison's arm. He's right. We have to go. The last thing John saw was his team retreating as he fought the commander. The device blinked faster now, counting down. This ends here, John told the alien as the room began to shake. For Earth, 3 days after the mothership exploded, the Resistance celebrated in their underground bunker. The massive fireball had been visible from Earth, lighting up the night sky like a second sun. The terraforming devices had shut down without the mothership's control signal. But Allison didn't join the celebration. She sat alone in the communications room, running the same scan over and over. You should rest, Kyle said, bringing her coffee. I picked up something, she replied, not looking away from her screen. A signal, very weak, but it matches John's emergency beacon. Allison, we all saw the explosion. Nothing could have survived that. Then explain this. She pointed to a faint blip on her screen. It's coming from Vraxian space near where the mothership was. Kyle studied it. Could be debris. Or it could be John. Before Kyle could answer, Ryan burst into the room. We've got trouble, big trouble. In the command center, Screens showed alien forces on Earth becoming more aggressive. Without the mothership, they were attacking randomly, destroying everything in their path. "They're desperate," Kyle said. "Cut off from home, they're lashing out." A technician called from another station. "Sir, we're picking up a transmission from deep space." The screens changed to show a star map. A massive signal was moving toward Earth. "What is that?" Ryan asked. "The mothership sent a distress call before it blew," the technician explained. "This looks like a second invasion force, much larger than the first." "How long?" Kyle asked. "At their speed? 4 days until they reach Earth." Silence fell over the room. Their victory had been short-lived. "We need to find John," Allison said suddenly. "Allison, even if he somehow survived, look at this." She pulled up data on her tablet. "Before the mission, I gave John an experimental tracker. It's still active and it's moving." Kyle studied the data. "Where?" "The Arctic. There's a Vraxian facility there we haven't hit yet." 12 hours later, Allison led a small team into the frozen facility. The aliens had abandoned it after the mothership's destruction, leaving their equipment behind. They found John in a medical chamber, unconscious but alive. Strange metal implants covered parts of his body. "What did they do to him?" Ryan whispered. Allison checked the alien computers. "They were trying to save him. The commander must have put him in this chamber before the explosion." "Why would they save him?" "I don't know." John's eyes snapped open. He sat up, looking at his changed body. "John?" Allison approached carefully. "It's me." "Allison." His voice sounded normal, but his eyes moved strangely, as if seeing things they couldn't. "I can see them. All of them." "See who?" "The second wave. They're coming." He stood, moving to a console. His hands worked the alien technology as if he'd used it his whole life. "What happened to you?" Kyle asked. "The commander. Before he died, he connected me to their network, transferred data directly into my brain." John turned to them. "I know where we can find a weapon. Something that can stop them all." "What weapon?" Ryan asked. "The Vraxians aren't the first to try conquering this part of space. Another race came before them, the Ancients. They built a defense system that defeated the Vraxians once before." "Where is it?" Allison asked. "Hidden, but I know how to find it now." John touched his implants. "These connect me to their systems. I can use them." Alarms blared. On the screens, they watched as the second wave of alien ships appeared in Earth's orbit, hundreds of them, darkening the sky. "We're out of time," Kyle said. John walked to the center of the room. The implants in his body began to glow. "What are you doing?" Allison asked. "Connecting to Earth's remaining defense systems and to the Vraxian tech we've captured." His voice changed, becoming stronger. "I can link them together, create something new." Energy surged around him. The facility's lights flickered. "John, is this safe?" Allison reached for him. "No, but it's necessary." He looked at her, his eyes now glowing with the same blue light as his implants. "This is our planet, and they've just met humanity's worst nightmare." Above them, the sky filled with light as Earth's last defense began.